Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
The Judiciary of Guam has paid $156,000 in rent for an empty building since April of 2017 as part of a 30-year lease on the property that used to be owned by the Catholic Church. That property, now owned by Supreme Court Justice Bob Torres' brother Chris Torres' company, MEC LLC. In April 2017, the courts entered into a 30-year lease with the Archdiocese of Hagatna. Then acting administrator of the courts, Hannah Gutierrez Arroyo, signed off on the lease, which sitting Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio helped negotiate. Tenorio, at the time, was the court's administrator.
Acquiring that property is a good deal for them operationally. Now, I'm not sure what happened the last couple of years.
According to land management documents, MEC LLC, owned by Chris Torres, bought the building from the church in July of 2018 for a cool $2 million in cash. MEC inherited the lucrative lease, which has escalating rent terms, meaning the rent gets more expensive every 5 years. The courts will pay $144,000 a year for the building until 2022. Now, during the last 5 years of the lease, from 2042 to 2047, the rent will be over $221,000 a year. KUAM News did the math. By the end of the lease, the taxpayers of Guam will have paid $5.2 million in rent, with just about all of that money going to the brother of a sitting Supreme Court justice. At the end of the lease, MEC will have more than doubled the $2 million they spent to buy the building. So we asked Judiciary spokesman Sean Gumatauta if it was a conflict of interest for the Judiciary to pay $5 million in rent to one of its judge's brothers.
For us, we were leasing the building from the Archdiocese of Hagatna. If they had made any purchases or any changes of the ownership, that was pretty much on them. The new owners are now honoring the lease that we entered into. So it was just a continuation of that.
Gumatauta says the plan is to eventually move the court's probation services division to the building while the old courthouse is being restored, but that hasn't happened even though the lease was signed more than 2 years ago. Gumatauta puts the blame on architects and the court's cash crunch.
I think that there was a large delay in when we first started this project with drawings. Basically the architectural drawings to get the place up to code and to be able to move the entire, or at least most of the division over. So the delays really in the drawings itself caused the big problems that we face in getting this project underway.
In the meantime, for now, the courts are basically paying $12,000 a month for some parking.
We've been working for just over a year or so now trying to get drawings done. We've had some hiccups in trying to get, making sure that place is secure. Obviously, we're now using it for parking.
Gumatauta said while the lease is for 30 years, it's very likely the court may buy the building outright from Justice Torres' brother.
It's in the footprint of the Judicial Center now, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities that we could actually purchase that building.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.